All right, let's take a look. This is your chapter 3 review. So again, I'm just gonna go through. I want you to try this on your own first, and then you can, if you get stuck or if you're really not sure, then you can look back at this and hopefully it'll help. Identify the pairs of angles as corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior. I like to call it same side interior, but consecutive is kind of the same thing, or vertical angles. So let's look, okay? Angle 3 and angle 6, those are on the inside of my parallel lines, but opposite sides of the transversal. Remember, this line that cuts through the middle is called the transversal. So those are going to be alternate interior angles. Looking ahead, I see I've got angle 2 and angle 7. Again, these two are on the outside of my parallel lines, my two parallel lines. Here's one. Let's call it parallel 1. And this is parallel 2. I don't think I spelled that word right. But they are, since they're on the outside of my parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal, I'm going to say that these are alternate exterior angles. Angle 4 and angle 8. If I think about the relative position, looking in the top, I say, okay, angle 4 is in the bottom right. Angle 8 is in the bottom right. Since those are in the same relative location, we're going to say that they are corresponding. Angle 5 and angle 8 share a vertex. And because of this, we're going to say that they are vertical angles, okay? They have opposite rays that extend forever and they share a vertex. So we're going to call these vertical angles. Angle 3 and angle 5. Angle 3 and angle 5 are on the inside of my two lines, and they're on the same side of the transversal. So I'm going to say that these are same side interior. Again, that's the same thing as consecutive interior. So same side interior, consecutive interior. And my last kind of example, I see I've got angle 1 and angle 8. Those are on the outside and opposite sides of the transversal. So I'm going to have alternate exterior angles. So remember kind of your 4 sets of parallels. Or the 4 sets of angles that are congruent are alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, and vertical. Those are going to be congruent. So when I look at my example here, I have alternate exterior, okay? And alternate exterior is congruent. So I'm going to set these two equal to each other. 105 equals 3x plus 15. Because they're congruent, I can set them equal to each other. And then all I need to do is solve for x. So x equals 30. Over here, okay, again, two parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are called vertical angles. Okay, they have the same vertex with opposite rays extending. So I'm going to, again, because they're congruent, set them equal to each other and divide. So x equals 65. Find the values of x and y, okay? So what I see here is, again, I have parallel line, cut by a transversal, okay? So it might look a little different, but really I have the same thing. And I see that I have an angle right here and an angle right here. These are on the inside of my parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. So I'm going to say that these orange ones are alternate interior. And that's congruent. So I'm going to say 5x equals 40, divide by 5, and get x equals 8. However, when I look at y, I'm going to have to say, okay, well, if these are parallel over here, then that means this angle, if this is a right angle down here, this has to be a right angle up here. So right angles are 90 degrees. So I can say that I know that that angle is equal to 90 degrees because they're parallel. I know it's also a right angle, which means that y equals 30. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So those are what I'm looking for. And if I don't have either of those, I'm going to say neither. So this is real easy because it's just in the form of y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope and y is my y-intercept. So I'm going to identify this has a slope of 6, this has a slope of 6. Those are not the same thing and they are not opposite reciprocals. So I am going to say neither. This one over here has a slope of 4, and this one has a negative 1/4. Remember, if your slope is 4, that's the same thing as 4 over 1. So your perpendicular slope would be the opposite of positive is negative. And then I am flip-flopping the top and the bottom number. So I would say that those are perpendicular because they are opposite reciprocals. I have to calculate the slope on this. So for line 1, again, I'm going to label it x1, y1, x2, y2. And to find slope, we call it the change in x, which is rise over run, which really I take my y values, I subtract them. I take my x values, I subtract them. So for line 1, I get 4 minus 1 over 1 minus 0, which gives me 3. For line 2, again, I'm going to get my y values, subtract them, my x values, subtract them. I'm going to get 1/3. Now, these are reciprocals, okay? I flipped them, but they're not opposite. They're still both positive. So in order for it to be perpendicular, I need to have a positive slope and a negative slope. I have 2 positive slopes. So I was close, but not quite. Keeping going, let's take a look at line 1. Okay, 3 minus 1 over 1 minus negative 1, 2 over 2, which is really just 1. 1 minus negative 1 over 4 minus 2, 2 over 2, which equals 1. I've got the same exact slopes, so I would say that these are parallel. Write an equation for the line. A couple ways I can do this. I know that I've got my y-intercept. So if you have your y-intercept, let's use the form mx plus b. So I know that my y-intercept is going to be +1. Now I just have to calculate slope. So if I've got this nice graph, I'm going to say, okay, my rise is going up 1, up 2. So that's a rise of 2. And I'm going over 1. So I'm going to say y equals, my slope would be 2 over 1, which we could just say is 2, 2x plus 1. Y equals 2x plus 1. Graph the equation, okay? I want to get it in the form of mx plus b. So to do that, I need to add 3x on both sides. So my equation that I'm going to graph is 3x plus 6. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I don't really have much room to go up, okay? So again, a positive slope goes up and to the right, or it goes down and to the left. So I could run up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1, but again, that's off my graph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, but then go to the left one. 1, 2, 3, left one. And now I can draw my line. Ugh. That did not work very good. Let's try that again. That one's better. Write an equation of the line that passes through points P and is parallel to the line. So again, parallel, I need to locate my slope. So my slope is m equals 1/3. And then we've got this form called point slope form, where we take our y values, and we can subtract them. I've got my slope, and then I take my x values and I can subtract them. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, all right, y minus 1 equals 1/3 x minus -2. Again, I'm finding those numbers right here, but I got to simplify. So let's keep going. I'm going to say, okay, 1/3 x minus -2 is really x plus 2. Still have y minus 1. Let's use the distributive property. So this gets multiplied into both terms. So 1/3 x plus 2/3, and I still have y minus 1. And then my last step is to add 1 on both sides. So y equals 1/3 x plus 1 2/3. You could say that that is also 5/3 if you kept it as an improper fraction. Again, keeping it with parallel, okay, my slope is the same, which is -1/2. I take my coordinates for x and y. Y minus 3 equals -1/2 x minus 3. Distribute it, -1/2 x minus, negative times a negative is actually a positive. 3/2. Still have y minus 3 here. When I add 3, I'm going to get -1/2 x plus, let's see here, 3 plus 3/2, that's like saying 1.5. So plus 4.5, or you could call it 4.5. Couple more. Notice this one is asking for perpendicular. So if my slope is m equals 1/2, my perpendicular slope is opposite reciprocal, which is going to be -2. Remember, anytime your x value is 0, this tells you your y-intercept. So again, this is like saying, hey, my x is 0, my y is 2. So I already know what my y-intercept is, so I can use mx plus b form and just say y equals -2x plus 2. Done. Super easy. Unfortunately, this one is not like that, so let's start by determining our slope. This is a slope of -1. M equals -1, so the opposite reciprocal of -1 is +1. Again, 1/1. If you flip it, it's still 1/1. So I'm going to do y minus 3 equals 1, x minus 4. Easy multiplication here. 1x minus 4, add 3, y equals x minus 1. All right angles are 90 degrees. So the way I like to talk about these is little angle plus little angle equals big angle. So 2x plus 30 plus x, little plus little equals the big angle, which is 90. 3x plus 30 equals 90. 3x, if I subtract 30 on each side, I get 3x equals 60. Divide by 3, I get x equals 20. Could check my work. Again, 20, plug in 20 here. 2 times 20 is 40. 40 plus 30 is 70. 70 plus 20 equals 90. Again, if this is a right angle, so is right here, so is right here, and so is right here. So I'm going to take little angle plus little angle equals big angle. 2x plus 2x is 4x. Subtract 10. 4x equals 80 divided by 4. X equals 20. Super quick review. Good luck on your exam.